Well, taking a look at Disney shares, though, and how they're trading after second quarter earnings revealed a subscriber exodus. You see they're down about 8% on the day. One thing we're watching on the earnings call was any commentary on the Ron DeSantis Reedy Creek battle, and we weren't disappointed. Disney CEO Bob Iger facing questions about the company's clash with the Florida governor. This is what he had to say.
This is about one thing and one thing only, and that's retaliating against us for taking a position about pending legislation. Our primary goal has always been to be able to continue to do exactly what we've been doing there, which is investing in Florida. Does the state want us to invest more, employ more people, and pay more taxes, or not?
Well, for more on this, we turn to Seth Berenzweig. Berenzweig, Leonard, managing partner. Good to have you on the show here. So we've had a number of updates here. We have Disney filing a new complaint and also amending their complaint that was based on free speech last week. And really talking about some of the agreements that were with the previous oversight board here. So first, I want to start with this complaint about the oversight board's control over Disney's design and construction at Disney World.
Sure. So basically, Disney has DeSantis caught in a mousetrap. They really have him cornered because Disney has a very strong constitutional argument. The case has been recently expanded to incorporate the fact that the administration under Ron DeSantis has formally not only taken over the Reedy Creek Board, reconstituted it, renamed it, but it also went in with legislative approval a couple of days ago and blew up their construction contracts. And that is allegedly a violation of the company's First Amendment rights. And the core of this case is very simple and very elemental. American businesses, corporations, just like individuals, have a right of free speech, which under the First Amendment, of course, includes the right to free political speech. Disney spoke out against the so-called Don't Say Gay law. And regardless of people's agreement or disagreement with that opinion, the law does provide that the government cannot punish a business for expressing political views. Disney has filed a very strong case, as recently amended, to go after the DeSantis administration for this pure reprisal and political attack. The administration under DeSantis has filed basically a counterclaim, but it is a lawsuit in state court across town, asserting basically the obverse of the same argument, saying that they somehow Disney acted unlawfully. But this is a really big headache. I doubt that Iger, with all the headaches he has right now, would have stepped into this morass if he didn't hear from his attorneys that his case is very strong.
And I mean, essentially, DeSantis and the oversight board are saying this is about leveling the playing field here. But Iger also addressed that Disney specifically being called out on its special districting laws. I want you to take a listen to this and we'll get your reaction.
We're not the only company operating a special district. I mentioned 2000. The Daytona Speedway has one. So do the Villages, which is a prominent retirement community, and there are countless others. So the goal here is leveling the playing. If the goal is leveling the playing field, then a uniform application of the law of or government oversight of special districts needs to occur or be applied to all special districts.
I mean, how is DeSantis going to respond to that if it just does occur to Disney and not for some of these other entities as well?
Well, you know, the thing that's really interesting, and I think this is consistent with Bob Iger's comments during the call yesterday, was that there was really nothing wrong with the Reedy Creek district for about a half a century. This has been going on since the mid-'60s. All of a sudden, after they exercise the right of political speech, suddenly it's a problem. The point was also correctly noted a moment ago that this is not a unique district. There are several unique districts within the state of Florida. So the reason why this has come up is not because of some magical concern that the Reedy Creek district is unique. It is not. And I think that the Florida administration under DeSantis has really put its foot in its mouth because the counter case in the state court is very weak. I've read it. It's probably going to either get stayed or consolidated over to the federal court. This is Ron DeSantis taking a sledgehammer and beating up one of the biggest corporate engines in the state of Florida. They employ tens of thousands of employees. They bring in tens of millions of visitors. And this is going to end up being a legal and political embarrassment. This is a case that will be moving rather quickly over the next couple of weeks.
So then would you say that DeSantis and the board really have any chance to get against Disney at this point?
I really don't think that DeSantis and his newly reconstituted board, which are really just his political appointees, have any likely chance of success in this case. The Disney lawsuit has been very carefully framed out. And keep in mind that usually, sometimes in cases, it's difficult to be able to get into the mind of your opponent to be able to prove that this was done with retaliatory intent. Well, here, that's basically a cakewalk. You have all kinds of statements by DeSantis, by his board members, by the state legislature that have made it very clear that this is pure political reprisal. So this is a very strong case, and this will really end up being an albatross around DeSantis's neck as he contemplates running for president.
And what sort of precedent do you think this is going to set when you do have a company as impactful on jobs and taxes as Disney does in Florida?
Well, I think it's going to set a critical precedent. This is unusual. This is not the only time in corporate litigation that a company has tried to flex its muscles against political reprisal, but this is clearly the highest level, highest profile case where a corporation has come under attack allegedly by a government for political reprisal for the exercise of their First Amendment rights. So if Disney wins this case, which I predict it will, this is going to mark a major precedent in corporate America from a constitutional framework, but also in terms of best governance and practice. The government should not be in the business of sledgehammering its blue chip corporate employers in the state. And if this turns out the way that we believe that it does, this is going to set a precedent which will be not only very good for Disney, but will also be quite positive for corporate America as they continue to try to operate their business without outside government interference.
And certainly, especially as we see more companies sort of weighing into some of these political discussions as well. A big thank you for joining me this morning. Seth Berenzweig, thank you for your time.